At the mesa of a mountain in the land of trickery, we find a forest. Withered trees of dull green and brown burn brightly to paint the scene as a thick smoke rolls outward and down the cliffsides. A sad state for a forest, but a worse place for a hideout. Beyond the smoke, beyond the trees, beyond the illusions, we see a ruined forest teeming with danger, leading to a village brimming with chaos. As the organization responsible for monitoring magical anomalies and fighting back against the corruption of magic, the clan of Cauldareen is under attack. We see teams of agents returning to base via the teleportation circles in the outskirts of the village, right into a trap. Broken robotic sentries lay beneath the treetops of this deceiving forest, monitoring no longer. And we find the new recruits to the clan of Cauldareen hard at work, trying to survive.
Hello, I'm Myri. I play Brutus, the human paladin. And again, this time, no one dies.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mustafa. Mustafa, name's so nice you gotta say it twice. And I play Tear, the Fallen Star ASMR Druid. And I guess we all hear stuff in our heads now, right?
Hello. I am Grim Songbird, and I am playing Hiccup, the wild magic sorcerer lizard folk werewolf. Oh, God, I can smell everything.
Hi, I'm Amelia Som. I play Terex, the drow blood hunter. Well, fuck.
Hi, I'm Ivy. I play Ruby, the fire genasi arcane trickster rogue. Just keep that one alive, please.
Last time on Cauldareen Chronicles, with newfound energy gifted to them by Genji Wave, Team 10 joined the fray. Their task? Get the security system back online.
It makes the city easier to traverse. It makes everyone's job better.
They take off sprinting for the center of town and quickly get drawn into combat as a giant rounds the corner, archers in pursuit.
Hiccup's eyes glow, and energy radiates off of him as he casts Slow.
I slash across the Achilles heel.
And a vampire spawn sinks its teeth into Tear, then meets a swift end as a voice whispers into the mind of a fallen star.
I think the guy who sold me the compass is talking to me?
Hiccup twins a haste spell, and Terex and our werewolf sorcerer advance ahead and encounter two Jarvises.
I hit him with my blood curse. I don't like how you said that.
Take that one alive. I think that's the real Jarvis.
Moira takes a solid hit from one before it gets picked apart and immolated by a firebolt.
Cast a guiding bolt on the remaining Jarvis.
With no way to hold back, Tear blasts a hole through Jarvis and the Warforged scout falls. Quickly, they rush to heal him as Terex and Ruby advance in to trigger the security system. Inside, they find a member of Team 7, the Kenku Palo, having given their last breath to trip the alarm. And as a voice whispers a warning to Tear, those outside come face to face with a murderous troll, until a pair of thick paws dig into its back and three canine heads rear back and unleash a stream of hellfire, killing the foe as Kagor, the leader of Cauldareen, and Sarah, his Cerberus, have returned to protect the next defenders of this land, to preserve the Cauldareen Chronicles. And at the beginning of this scene, we jump back a moment as Kagor, hearing the ping, turns and looks at the desolated warehouse before him. His mission completed, but uniquely set up to attack him. Hearing the ping, he opens up a portal and Sarah and Kagor rush back to base. Utilizing the front door on purpose, a monster rushes them, and as it advances with a wave of his hand, Kagor sends it up into the air, and Sarah, unleashing a mote of flame, melts this thing in the air as it comes crashing down, a corpse. Looking around and seeing the dangers and the corpses and the comrades, Kagor and Sarah advance into Cauldareen. Hastily undoing as many spells in the area that he can see, Sarah hunting down the largest of the creatures she can spot. In the distance, a storm giant rears back its arm to hurl a lightning bolt, and Kagor casts a spell, hurling a building in that direction, catching its attention. 2 more members flank Kagor as the trio now runs, and they advance, taking on the storm giant. After a hard-pressed fight, Kagor turns and sees a black smoke signal go up high above the center of town. And at that moment, a troll turns and dashes towards the center of town. Kagor, unsure of what this means, advances towards the signal, hoping to catch the troll before it reaches its destination. And as a swing narrowly misses what he can only make out to be members of Cauldareen, Sarah jumps ahead. And as Kagor steps forward after Sarah hastily handles this troll, he looks forward and sees members that appear to be Team 10 and Jarvis with a hole in the chest. Inside the building, though, that he cannot see, we have Terex and Ruby, who have just gone inside to try and activate the system. So you have just seen that Paulo is dead and in the alarm room. The next thing is up to you.
I had undone the stake that was holding him there and lowered him to the ground.
Yes, you took Paulo and took him off the wall and lowered him down to the ground. Yes.
I am looking around at trying to figure out any way to turn on what has been turned off.
Yeah, as soon as I'm satisfied that he's on the ground and at least there, kind of looking him over, I'll assist Terex.
So in this room, there are multiple rooms in here. And in the room where Paulo is, it seems that this is only the alarm room. The systems in here just seem to be sigils and triggers. But as you look around, you can see that there are several slabs with magical symbols on them. And one of those was used to activate the alarm. So you can theorize and understand how that works, is that certain things are connected to certain symbols. But this room seems to be the alarm and warnings and announcements room.
Okay. I will push toward another room until I find something that looks like it can turn shit on.
Yeah, so the very next room has been trashed. And there are pieces of it that it looks like have been scuffed or damaged. But it does not seem like the blade that was used was able to crack the table with the symbols on it. But they are deactivated right now.
Do I know anything about how to reactivate them?
Make an Arcana check.
I was gonna say, is there like a protocol on the wall?
Is there a manual book somewhere?
Employee handbook. I know for a fact that Terex is not looking for a book. They're just trying to see if they can do anything.
Ruby's the one that's like, is there an employee handbook?
It's a 13.
Okay, and Ruby, are you making any checks?
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay, so Ruby, you can either, would you make an Arcana check for me as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yours will be at advantage, particularly because of who you are.
That's 17. 17 is my highest. So
Okay.
That's that nepotism.
So with a 13, Terex looking around, seeing how things are situated, this room seems to have different magical symbols down on its slab, and your understanding of magic is pretty versed enough to understand that these are touch activated, It just requires the right sequence or the right activation. But oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say if Terex would just frustratingly try and just do different sequences.
Just try and touch them, yeah. And that just touching them, some start to glow, but as you touch them in various orders, they then go out.
Mm-hmm.
And Ruby, with a 17, you have been versed in some of the emergency protocols, and you do not necessarily know everything about setting things up, but you understand that the magic in here will respond to a ring marker that is used to teleport.
How bizarre.
These buttons aren't working.
Hold on. I'm gonna walk over and take a look. How many are there?
There are 5 symbols.
Is there any indicator of which are they supposed to be pressed in a certain sequence, or how aware am I of the order they have to be pressed in, and or which one?
So your knowledge of the situation is that they will respond to someone of your status, but you do not know like what a full defense specialist would know about them.
Okay, cool, because that's not my job.
Mm-hmm. So you know in an emergency they will respond to you.
Okay.
But you don't know entirely what you couldn't command them.
Right. Well, which one? Looking to Terex.
That one, I like the squiggles.
Oh, right. Oh, no, reach out my hands for the squiggly one.
Yes. And as you touch it, there is a quick pulse. And if anyone was looking, the image of your slight tattoo that gives you the ability to open up the portals glows for just a moment. And it recognizing your hand triggers the system. And that one glows. And then the one next to it begins to glow. And the next one, and the next one, and all 5 have lit up. As there seems to be parts of them that are not lit up, but the base core of each sigil is active now.
Okay.
And you hear outside as a continuation of blasts begins to erupt from off in the distance.
Well, I think that worked.
Yeah, it's probably good sounds.
I'm going to assume it is.
Do we need to press more buttons?
Is there more buttons in this room, or is it just these ones?
In this room, you've gotten the 5 that were available. They are just not fully lit up, but...
Yeah. Okay. How many other rooms additional to this one are there?
Inside this building, there's one other room.
Terex, probably frustrated, would grab Ruby, whichever hand has the ring on it, and pull you to the other room.
Okay, I was coming anyways.
You're not moving fast enough.
All right, I'll just be dragged.
Yeah.
What is in the last room?
The last room, the door seems to be locked or barred. There are several gashes in the door itself and several dented marks.
Doop, 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 doop.
You knock?
Yep.
There is no response.
We're not murderers.
I'm just taking into the effect that we saw one member of Team 7 dead on the floor, and this looks like they've buried themselves in. But they're not answering.
Motherfuck?
We don't hear anything at all from the inside.
You don't hear a thing.
Okay. When we push against the door, does it feel like there's something right behind it, or that they've just they've locked it? Like if we were to push on it?
Yeah, if you go to push on it, it feels like something is pressed against it.
Okay.
Can you try and see if the door's locked at all and maybe unlock that? Maybe we can push it.
Shimmy, shimmy on the handle.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's actually locked. The
Okay.
handle seems to have been damaged from on this side, but it is barred.
Okay. Let me see here. Can I? I do want to try pushing it open.
Okay,
So-
make a strength check.
I can try and help you.
Please.
Okay.
I'm not
With
strong.
advantage.
Okay. That is an 8, and that is a 18. So I'm glad.
Is there anything added to the 18?
Nope. It's just
Perfect. 18 is the DC.
Oh god.
Yeah. And it takes you a moment, and as you shove and push on this door, you get it to push open, and you can see that part of a mattress was laid up against the wall, and it was bending, and then finally you got it in such a way that the door is halfway open. It's still kind of pinched between the mattress and the other wall, but you have now opened the door enough to get inside.
Okay, I'm gonna first peek my head in and see if there's anything I can see directly.
And having looked in, you now see the occupant of this room laying against the wall in a pool of blood. Gashes all across them as the resident who monitors everything here has been cut. And enough blood on the floor says that they bled out. And they seem to have written something on the floor next to them.
Ruby's gonna just shit and then enter the room.
I'll go in after her.
But I'm gonna
And-
look at the writing.
And in the writing, they have written one word: Jarvis.
No ultras behind it.
Yeah, that's as to be expected. Shit. Is there anything else in this room?
Oh, fuck.
It seems to be just a small room that they stay in when they're working long shifts and monitoring here overnight.
Ugh. Damn it. I'm gonna have to tell his family now.
It's not your job to do that.
I'll do it anyways.
No, no.
And outside, you hear a commotion as something happens, and you hear a loud growl from outside.
Well, best be getting on.
Yep, onwards. And
Going back down.
We'll come back.
And as you're heading out, Kagor is greeting Team 10, the three of you, and says, "Are you all right?"
More or less.
And he looks to Sarah and motions towards you, and Sarah advances and gets right up in your faces. And each head sniffs one of the three of you first, and they open up, and you see fire building in the back of the throat, and they sniff each one of you,
Hi, Sarah.
and then they calm down and take a step back.
I say I'd like to pet the dog.
Can I pet
Yeah.
that dog?
Can I pet that
Does werewolf hiccup touch Sarah's nose?
He just gives a gentle boop the snoot.
And
If I
Sarah,
get bitten, I'm gonna laugh.
having calmed down, Kagor says, "Well, it seems it is you. Good."
We should get inside. They're trying to turn on the security systems before we do anything else.
And as Kagor looks up, he sees the cannons in the distance start to turn and begin firing. It seems they've got them on.
Right.
Not all of them were left intact, though, so it seems we've got... Ugh. That's all right. As long as you're all right,
Where
no
do
one
you
else
just
falls
next?
today.
No.
And at this point, Ruby and Terex come walking out of the door as the smoke billows out of that building because it is still on fire. And you walk out, and there before you, Terex and Ruby, is Kagor and Sarah.
What's up, cuz?
Slightly hesitant because we just dealt with 2 Jarvises. At least Ruby is. Just with caution.
I'm
I'll
walking up
turn
to
around.
straight up to Kagor.
Ruby's just like,
And Sarah goes to step in front of you and leans down, and the same treatment as Sarah sniffs you over first and then looks at Ruby and gives a sniff and then relaxes, having cleared that you are who you say you are.
I'm
girl.
not gonna lie, I was worried some of y'all had been turned.
I was so scared. When you're like, shit, we're all been turned and we just don't know it yet.
Well,
Oh my god. Corso's got you too paranoid. Too paranoid.
I'm glad to see you're all okay. We need to regroup. We'll be better in forces.
We do. As a heads up, it seems like Jarvis might have been the mole.
Oh, he for sure
know-
was.
Yeah. It seemed like he was being controlled by someone.
Hence why looks to Jarvis with a hole in his chest. We were trying to just knock him unconscious. That did not go to plan.
Well, he's unconscious now.
Well, now
He's
Not
dead,
dead.
now. Oh, he's
Controlled
not?
by what?
We brought him back.
we don't know.
Probably whoever's behind the tattoos and all of this.
He seemed conscious of the fact that he was being controlled, though. Asked us to make it stop. Didn't seem like something he was doing because he wanted to.
Make what stop?
Well,
And at
there
those
was-
words, dawning on Kagor as he begins to understand the situation
Wow.
or has an inkling of an idea. All players, please roll a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
What? Okay.
Disadvantage.
Oh, haha.
Wisdom saving throw?
Okay.
That's still not good enough, probably, but it's
Oh,
not
and
bad.
everybody remember that you add +4 to that.
Thank you.
Yes.
+4.
Hey,
I am
Corso.
scared.
Hey, Corso, you know how I was teasing you that you got a 20 and then, a bad
Okay.
number? Well, I got a 20 and an 11. So 11.
So,
This is what I get for teasing you.
what do we have for, let's first off, Terex,
Non-natural 20.
for Brutus,
14.
Ruby,
11.
Tear,
17.
Hiccup.
14.
Ooh, I am the lowest this time.
And every one of you begins to hear this very music in your head as everything you do comes to a pause and you are left frozen in place, paralyzed, looking forward at Kagor and Sarah. As suddenly a loud popping sound happens, and you watch as Sarah starts to get drug underground and begins to yip and howl and twist as something opens up in the ground and a pit filled with fire and brimstone starts to drag Sarah in. And as she turns, she lashes out at a hooded figure that you now see stands behind Kagor, and with a moment narrowly nicks with her fangs as Sarah is drug away and vanishes. And in this moment, Kagor looks down at the black fingernails through his chest. And with a twist jumps to the right. And before you, a hooded figure roughly 6 feet tall stands. Long black fingernails, now dripping in blood, extend out from a tan skin hand that's losing its pigment. The top of his face is obscured by shadows emanating out from under his cloak. But the bottom half of his face, holds a devilish, toothy smile as two sharp fangs slowly lower. And he advances, and Kagor dodges and moves and jumps out of the way. And this thing seems to be on him and continually slashes and moves. And as it slashes once more time, Kagor withdraws a dagger, but his form, his animalistic form, starts to fade away. And his dagger comes up and catches whoever this is. And the voice says out loud, "Long time no see, boss." All players, roll initiative.
What the fuck?
As this will
I
determine
hate it here.
the order in which this happens.
So a 20 wasn't enough?
DC
30 in this motherfucker.
Oh, wait. Someone gave inspiration in the chat.
Oh no.
To
Ruby,
Ruby.
don't die.
To
We've got that
Ruby.
one to Ruby. Good. Okay, so
Thank you, Andrew.
let's go. Ruby, what is your initiative?
19.
Okay, we got a 19 for Ruby. What do we have for Terex?
18.
Terex says an 18. Brutus,
15.
15. Tear,
Also 15.
and Hiccup.
5. My natural luck of low initiative streak continues.
Okay, Ruby, up first. In your mind, you can hear this music playing, and you can't move. You are paralyzed, but you just saw this happen in front of you. What's going through your mind? What are you thinking?
My first thought is, shit, I have to be unfrozen so I can help.
Okay. Is there anything you do or attempt? You can't take any actions, but what is Ruby's emotions?
Fear, but she's calm under pressure. So
Okay.
she's going to use the adrenaline to her advantage.
Okay. What about next up in order is Terex? What
Yeah,
is
she's-
going on in Terex's mind?
Oh, just anger.
Okay.
Just wants to lash out at whatever this fuck is doing.
Absolutely. And Brutus. What is Brutus doing or thinking?
I think Brutus is. I think she's trying to. She's trying to like activate that the terrifying sort of aspect of dread power within her and use that ability she has to like make people afraid, her channel divinity, to try to make this attacker afraid. And
She's trying to
run.
call that up.
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And how about Tear?
In that moment, Tear is staring at the spot where Sarah disappeared at, and having seen another companion be drug away. For Tear, this is very similar to being up in the stars and watching life go by and being helpless and watching everything happen. So he's feeling like he's back at where he started.
Okay. And Hiccup.
Absolute fucking rage. He is boiling with anger. He's trying to scream, but he can't. And how he wants to annihilate this guy attacking Kagor, and how he's wishing he had more power, that he wish he wasn't so weak. Otherwise, if he believes if he was much stronger, he wouldn't be trapped helpless watching this happen, and he would do something.
Okay. And it turns it back. This figure again advances and continues to go toe to toe with Kagor. Even as Kagor begins to lose that shifted form, it laughs and says, "You know, being so tethered to your dog does make you a bit of a target, sir." And Kagor, without saying a word, begins to continually move and dodge. Now, I figured it wouldn't be that easy. But look at you, giving me a whole host of obstacles and hostages. I do enjoy that. And he turns and advances towards Tear. And as he dashes at Tear, Kagor moves, comes up, and deflects that blow, which is followed up by a second one across Kagor's shoulders. Kagor spins and launches you backwards with a solid strike to the solar plexus, knocking you 15 feet back, and begins to pull up a wall of shadow immediately, obscuring the view of the others. But this creature comes around the side and now comes darting in Hiccup's direction. As he
bring it. Sorry.
As he reaches out, slashes at Hiccup, and slashes again. And that will be a 21 and a 22 to hit.
Well, both of those will hit.
And so...
Oh, wait. Hang on. I know this is a ridiculous question. I can't cast spells while I'm paralyzed, can I?
Correct.
Damn. I cannot cast shield then. Well, shit. Okay, then that does hit.
Yes, and as those strike, they cut through, and as the piercing damage cuts in, your wounds heal up. And this figure looks up and mutters, "Interesting," and dodges quickly out of the way as Kagor has come quickly to try and aid you, and envelops you in shadow, and then steps back. Again, the figure advances, this time at Brutus, and goes to swing, but Kagor's too fast. Kagor advances, and what's left of his fangs reach out for a bite, and he connects, sinking his teeth into the shoulder of this person, and is immediately kneed 5 feet into the air, and a pair of hands come smashing down onto his back as Kagor flat onto the ground. Quickly, he vanishes in a puff of shadow, and Kagor is now 20 feet away, catching his breath. The hooded figure turns and says, "Now, that wasn't very nice." Then it looks back to Brutus. "Thanks for the boost." And then, turning over, it finally sets its eyes on Terex. "Now, don't you look familiar?" And as he advances, Kagor vanishes, appearing directly in your place as a sword runs him through. And Kagor turns and pushes this being and thunder steps away. And they appear at a distance, and he thunder steps one last time to return amongst the circle, amongst you five, blood dripping from him, and quickly forms a sigil on the ground. And Kagor looks up, and then behind him, and cocks a half smile. Looking at Terex, he says, "Be good." And the sigil ignites. And in one final move, shadow envelops Kagor. And the image of a hound rushes forwards at the target in the distance and begins to strike and strike and strike and strike and strike again and again, and the buildings nearby begin to crumble and erupt. And as the shadow gets smaller and smaller and smaller, Kagor falls to a knee and then falls flat. And the creature in front of him, in the hood, having been decimated by that attack, begins to change. As the doppelganger reveals its true form in death. And strolling out from the shadows comes an identical looking figure to what you just saw. Well, I would not like to be on the receiving end of that one. And that's what we call insurance, kids. Oh. And this figure turns and walks over to Terex. Now, he was on to something, though. Look at you. A spitting image. But then he pauses and turns. Right now, in order, back to Ruby. What is in Ruby's mind?
I want to run them through.
So, what emotion?
Rage. It's no longer fear. It's been replaced by rage.
Terex.
Like a very cool burning fire of rage. Very focused anger. And she's just staring daggers into his eyes.
Brutus.
I think Brutus has switched out of the enraged combat mode here, and I think it's gonna be worry. Like, I think she wants to heal Kagor.
I can't use a
with her
reaction here.
Divine, yeah.
Yeah. Not while paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Tear.
I think the helplessness is driving Tear to try and do something, anything at this point. There's anger simmering and there's a lot of frustration, but he doesn't have room for that just yet. He's still focusing on trying to be of some help and not just be a watcher or viewer anymore and not watch people die in front of him without him helping.
And Hiccup.
The moment Kagor fell, everything inside Hiccup went ill, quiet for the very first time. And he just feels absolutely cold and dark inside and isn't quite sure how to process that.
Hiccup. Roll a wisdom save.
Okay. I think I saw that I also got inspiration in
Sure.
the chat.
Yep, so that means a D4 to
Everyone
add to your roll.
has.
Everybody
And you're
did.
within range of Brutus, which is another 4 added. So you have your D20, a D4, plus 4, and your modifier if you have one.
I don't. I have a +0 modifier for my wisdom.
Don't we all?
I know.
Same.
Okay.
I go +1. Yeah, everyone has inspiration
Okay.
except the DM.
So before you say anything, my total was a 19, but I am tempted. You know, I feel like I should use Tides of Chaos because I want to roll as high as I can.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, this is a terrible idea, but I'm gonna do it. Now, do I roll the D20 or both the D20 and the D4?
I think we'll just do the D20
Okay.
when it comes to Tides of Chaos, just so that.
Yeah. All right. Please, God, give me higher. I rolled so much lower.
Okay, so your highest is a 19, yes?
Yes, 19 is my highest.
Okay,
You want me to go ahead and I'll just go ahead and mark the Tides of Chaos use since I did make that roll.
excellent.
Okay.
And you felt something try to well up inside of you in that calm, in that cold, something inside of you as the music got a little quieter. And in this moment, Terex and Brutus hear a voice familiar to Brutus.
Oh shit. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I did not add Brutus's +4. I only added the dice. 19 plus 4 is 23. I am so sorry.
That's okay. And the same result.
Okay, cool.
Brutus and Terex hear a voice inside. I can move. Brutus, you recognize Oliver's voice, hands down. Terex, this is the first time you've ever heard it. You don't even know what this is.
I don't think I do anything with that information. I'm
Yeah.
just confused.
Am I allowed to do something, or do I wait until my turn comes back around?
You can respond.
Okay. Can you help Kagor like you did Terex?
And Oliver accesses your eyes and shows you what Oliver sees. At a distance, it's hard to see, but you can. As his soul particleizes. He used it for that. I can't retrieve a thing that is not there.
And can you help me move?
Where to?
Through him. Gesturing to our vampire boy.
Okay. I need full control.
And you have it.
And without a second's hesitation, the rest of the party sees Brutus's body advance and begin swinging relentlessly again and again and again and again and again and again at this figure as he begins jumping back and says, "Well now, you're an exciting one." But unfortunately, as he spins around and gets back to back with you, we're a bad matchup. And with an elbow sends you into the wall and again cast the statue. Make a wisdom save this time. This
Ooh.
one will be with advantage.
Ooh. All right.
Oh, there, you amazing.
With advantage. Don't know that it helps a whole lot more. So that is 18.
Okay. And you shut down for a moment, but you can feel Oliver stirring. But then this hooded figure turns and says, "Oh, what a wonderful reunion." And he calls out down the road, "I wasn't expecting company so soon. I would have cleaned myself up." And up the road, you see two familiar faces advancing your direction with a ferocity you've not known. Ruby's mentor, Anafe, is in a full sprint, releasing a slew of daggers high up into the air. As he dodges one, she vanishes in a cloud of mist and reappears behind him, just in time to catch that dagger and swing. A short sword parries her blade, and you hear him say, "Hello, dear sister." And then his eyes turn to the other figure approaching. How does she approach?
So you see Oops running towards him. And her clothes are torn and singed, and her body is bruised and bloodied. There are deep gashes everywhere, and her clothes, her hair is flying wildly. And as she gets closer, from the ground underneath her, you see flowers and vines just erupt in a radius around her as she approaches this figure, and her eyes get bright and furious, and Sunblade bursts from its hilt, and she goes in for a swing for a 22.
Yes! That'll hit.
Cool. And that's with both hands.
Hell yeah.
So that is an amount of damage. So that's...
Shit ton.
I rolled the wrong dice. I'm doing great, guys.
There's been a lot happening. It's been a long day. You found out there was a vampire. It's fine.
5 plus 6. And plus 3. 5 plus 6 is 11, plus 3 is 14, plus 2, because I'm raging, is 16? Did I do that math
16.
right?
Yeah.
16 damage. And that's
16
radiant.
damage from Radiant comes slashing in and strikes across this being. But as it's not enough to kill, they pulled back in time. Anafe goes to advance and is holding back that blade. And he turns and he says, "Well, hello, Daisy. The gang's all here. The best 3 out of 5.
I'm gonna make you eat those words.
Oh. Well, right now, you're batting 0 for 2 in saving teammates. Oops has just arrived and taken a swing at this figure. And Anafe has also joined the fight and is clashing dagger to short sword, pressing against. Anafe pulls back and looks at the rest of Team 10. He's probably got them under.
Oh, I mean, definitely.
So, Oops, roll initiative.
Initiative, I get advantage on initiative rolls, which is great because that was low. That was even lower. So
Okay.
I got a 9.
Okay. All right, so Oops, taking their time to think about what they want to do.
We could say that Oops is mildly distraught, but raging too hard to really process it.
So, we're going to check in now with the players in their order. At the top was Ruby. Ruby,
Mm-hmm.
your mentor is here now. What is going through Ruby's head? You just saw Brutus also be able to advance somehow.
It's still a calm, adrenaline-fueled rage, now paired with concern, because not only is this Anafe and who Ruby presumes to be someone very close to her, she just watched her party member also get battered against this individual and then stop moving again. So it's a calm rage with concern.
Okay. Next is Anafe's turn. She also got a 19. And Anafe's response. Oops. Watch my back. And Anafe
Always.
jumps back and throws a dagger at her brother. And then you hear a different sound begin to flow into your mind. Layered over the sound that you're hearing, you hear a second version of the same track. And something inside of you begins to will you to move. And as Anafe jumps from foot to foot, so does your body. And Anafe makes a drawing motion, and you all draw a weapon, and she steps forward and makes an advancing motion. And the music gets louder, and you're frozen again. And Anafe, stepping back and forth, not taking her eyes off of her brother, begins to run backwards, taking you 25 feet back. At this moment, the hooded figure goes to advance, but oops, you're right there.
Yes, I
This
am.
would be an attack of opportunity.
Right on. I'ma do it. I'ma swing. Still the Sunblade. Still two-handed. For a not a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
So that's gonna be 13 plus 3, 16 plus 2, 18 damage.
Okay. And you land a solid hit. And the hooded figure leans back to a dodge, taking more of that. I'll deal with you in a moment, but it's too late. As Anafe has gotten you back 30 feet. And as she has drug all of you out of range, the music stays in your head, but you feel a bit of movement. Oops.
I am so sorry. I forgot to mention that. So the vines around me make it difficult terrain to my enemies. Okay.
Yep. And so you have been pulled back 30 feet. And suddenly movement comes back to you. Terex, you're up first.
Okay.
And you can still hear Anafe's music. It seems to be shrouding you.
Okay. I will bonus action cast Hex at 2nd level on the vampire.
Okay.
Although I'm sure necrotic damage isn't great for it, but you know, I'm still doing it. I get 2 attacks. I am going to do 3 crossbow strikes. No, I cast Hex as a bonus action, so I will do 2 crossbow strikes. Okay, so the first one's a 10, that probably doesn't hit. The second one is a 25.
25 will hit.
25 will hit. That is 9 piercing damage, plus my Crimson Right is still up. So that is 5 psychic damage.
Excellent.
Yes. That is my turn.
Okay. Next up in the order, Brutus.
I can move again.
Yes, you hear that same music, and with the help of Oliver, you have movement.
Cool.
Oh, I didn't roll. Did I roll the hex damage?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
Sorry. 1 point of necrotic damage. And it has disadvantage on, I don't know, strength?
Okay.
That helpful to people?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that.
All
All right.
good.
So Brutus, you're up.
Yeah. Okay. Gonna go ahead and do a bonus action to get a thunderous smite ready. Gonna run up and take some attacks and do what I do.
Excellent.
Yeah. I am gonna go ahead and use Great Weapon Master on these
Great.
because I feel like I might need it. I'm gonna use my inspiration on one of these because I rolled a 3.
Adding a D4 to that?
Oh, I thought the inspiration was the reroll. My bad.
No, just D4. So you might want to say
Okay.
that.
Cool. Never mind. My bad. I thought it was the reroll inspiration. So yeah, I will save it. That 3 obviously doesn't hit, but this one might. I will roll the d4 to add to this one.
Okay.
Nope. Okay. Does an 18 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. Only one of my attacks hits, but I'm gonna throw a divine smite on there also. Also at that higher level. If you
Do
only
it.
get one hit, do it well. Awesome. Okay. So that's the weapon.
So we've
This.
got a great weapon mastery damage of 10 tacked on to your already swinging damage and a second level smite.
And 2 smites because I had my one prepared that I
Oh,
put
yes,
in
your
as
thunderous
bonus action,
smite.
and then also a divine smite. So
And remember to add an extra d8 because this is an undead.
yes. Thank goodness. Okay. All right. I don't actually have enough dice on the table.
That's okay. We'll get them
I-
rolled.
Yeah.
I wish we were playing at a table so that way I could steal all y'all's dice.
Oh, one of the joys of playing in person.
I know, I would have totally lend you one of my dice. Be like, that's
Those
the
two.
son.
And then for my thunder smite, that's another d6. Okay. So such a satisfying amount of dice.
All of the dice.
Oh, I rolled really good. Okay.
Brutus, 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 Brutus. Yeah.
We stand beefcake in this house.
Yep.
41, 42, 43, 44, 47, 48. That is. Wait, no, 58, and then plus my.
50
There's
plus.
more.
Yeah.
Oh, you did 58
Nine.
last time. That was your highest damage.
9. 66. Thank you, everyone, for waiting.
All
For
right.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the paladin math.
It's plus 9.
Paladins.
67
67.
damage.
Yes.
Woo! Paladins.
What type of
folks.
damage?
Okay, so I actually do have it broken up. I moved some of my dice. So I didn't have it all in all of my groupings. A bunch of it is just straight physical damage. But then there was
So yeah, 10 of it plus that.
So there was-
Just tell me what the smite damage is.
approximately.
That's fine.
Okay.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
33 thereabouts. I think I scooped all my dice to the side, but I think that was
Bro.
about what the smite damage was.
Okay,
So
cool.
much
Everybody
smite.
keep track of all their different types of damage because that is going to be so important.
Good to know. Cool. All right.
All right.
That's it.
And yeah, you land a decent hit. And as your blade bites in, he seems to not care. And then your smite heats up into it, and he pulls away from that.
Okay.
And he looks at you
Okay.
and says, "That's getting annoying." And followed up to Brutus, I need a wisdom save at disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
That piece of shit.
Brutus is in his face again.
Yep. It's what we do. I definitely fail. I don't know what the save
Yeah.
is, but it's bad.
And this time, Brutus, a thorny crown begins to wrap around your head. Be a shame if you hit anyone you cared about. And your attention is drawn towards your teammates. But it is Tear's turn.
Fuck. Okay. I am going to, seeing that energy starts swelling up, electricity starts going through my hands, but seeing the thorns starting to form around Brutus's head, I'm going to look at her and I'm going to say, not today. And I'm going to cast a 3rd level Dispel Magic. To dispel whatever spell that is. So I would need a... so for that, I would make an ability check using my spellcasting ability. And if it is a 3rd level or less, it is completely gone. If not, we'll see how that goes.
Okay. So that particular one, as you cast it at 3rd level,
yes,
seems to just knock it out of balance.
Yes! Okay. Perfect. Okay, cool. Wonderful. I am then... Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for right now.
Okay. Oops. He has gotten a few steps from you, but that is it. As Brutus charged in and immediately slashed and then charged up her blade.
Okay, cool. Oops is just gonna keep coming after him. And Oops is gonna use both of her attacks with Sunblade. This is gonna be math. Making sure I have all my numbers perfect. The first one is an 18.
That'll hit.
Do you want me to roll all the attacks and do the damage? It's all gonna be radiant damage.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
The second attack is also an 18.
Both hit.
God, I hate math because I'm also gonna action surge after this. So
Okay.
the whole thing. So,
And I'll just pull up a calculator so you can rattle off numbers and we'll have it in seconds.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna roll the 2 attacks. One is one's a 10, so that misses, and the other one is a 24.
Okay. So 3 of those hit. Roll damage.
So that's gonna be the first attack. Is going to be
You can just list all the numbers to me and I'll
9 plus 3 plus 2.
Got you.
Second attack is gonna be 5 plus 3 plus 2.
Okay.
And the third is 2 plus 3 plus 2.
Okay. For a total of 31 damage as you consecutively slash, all radiant. Followed up. Anything else on your turn?
I believe that is all I can do.
And now to Hiccup.
Okay. Now that he's able to regain control of his movements, he still feels emotionally shut down because it has not even been 24 hours since he died and got brought back. A lot of shit has been happening in the same 24 hours, and he has not had time to process anything whatsoever. So he is very not okay. And after that, that just really tipped him over. And he feels himself slip. But once he regains control of his movement, still feeling cold inside, he focuses that icy glare onto our vampire friend here. And I'm pretty sure the haste spell wore off a long time ago.
Yeah.
Cool. So he is going to focus very intently on this guy and cast slow.
Okay.
He needs to make a wisdom saving throw, and I would like to use bend luck to hopefully ensure his failure.
All right. So that means he rolls twice and takes the lower, yes?
I believe I roll a d4 and you put that into the subtracting of what you roll, but I'm going to double check super quick. I got it right here.
Well, he rolled a 2.
Oh, goody.
And then he doesn't.
That piece
As
of
flow begins to radiate towards him, and it seems to take effect. And he says, and it wears right past him.
That was a 3rd level spell, folks. Just want you all to know.
As he is able to negate a saving throw if need be.
Okay, I also need to roll to see if I surge.
You
That was
do?
a 3rd level spell. I rolled exactly a 3. So I surge.
You do.
Cool. I just
Become a
saved-
vampire, lycanthrope.
Oh god.
Fight fire with fire.
A vamp wolf.
Just gather all the.
A vamp wolf folk.
A vamp folk. A vamp.
We're pyre folk.
A
Please don't.
vampinthrope.
A vampinthrope. Please don't turn into a potted plant.
I will lose.
Don't
my
listen to her. Do whatever you want. Do whatever
I will-
feels right.
I will
Live your
do
best
what-
life.
Live your
I will
best
live my
life.
best life. That is a 51. I am
With a
scared.
51, a
Yes.
spectral shield hovers near you for the next minute, granting you +2 bonus to AC and immunity to magic missiles.
Okay.
As that surge triggers, roll again for Tides of Chaos.
Yup, there it is. Okay. That makes sense. This totally makes sense. I will see what else. That is an 83. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that Tides of Chaos tidbit before we see what that
Each
does.
creature within 10 feet of you, 30 feet of you, sorry, takes 1d10 necrotic damage.
I'm sorry.
You regain
Ow.
hit points equal to that.
Oh no. I mean, vampire thrope?
You are outside of 30 feet because of getting your movement back, so it's only your teammates.
No.
Everybody
I didn't-
takes a d10 of necrotic.
Okay. I will
Me too.
No, you're right up there with him, and same with Brutus. So you two are avoided, but Ruby and Anna Faye and Moose for Ter and for Terex.
That will be 3 points of necrotic damage.
Guess what?
Oh
I
well,
have
you don't hiccup. You
resistance
don't take
to
any.
necrotic.
Awesome.
I have resistance to necrotic, so I only
Nice.
take 1 point of damage. Aha.
Nice. So
I'm
everybody
pretty
takes
su-
3, and
I'm
that will
pretty
be 12
sure-
to you.
Oh god. 12 points for me.
HP.
HP, thank you.
Yep.
I will add that in. I'm pretty sure what happened is that the moment he tried to cast that spell, his body just fucking spazzes the fuck out as both of these things happen at once because of it's been a rough one. And
Yeah.
he's having a harder time controlling his abilities at this point.
Okay.
That is all I can do for right now. I mean, I can move, but I think he's being cautious this time, so he's not gonna move.
Okay. And as your turn ends, he turns and goes to throw an elbow first at Oops, who is standing right there. And that is going to be
Far
a
too
25 to hit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
God damn.
As he elbows you, and instead of, as he goes to elbow, he connects and then latches down his hand. And as he does, he's grappled you.
Oh.
And now that it is his turn, as they are allowed to change an unarmed strike to a grapple on hit, he now
Without
has
me
you
having to make
grappled.
a check.
It is a straight grapple on grab. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Cool.
he now is going to respond. And his fangs open up and he goes to bite you. On his turn with a 26 to hit.
Yeah.
And he going to deliver 8 piercing damage to you. And then $10 necrotic damage. And you know, as a vampire hunter, your hit points are reduced. Your maximum hit points are reduced by 10, and he just gained some HP. That lasts until you finish a long rest. And he turns to look at Anafe and says, well, things are a little bit more exciting when you're around. But don't think I didn't come bearing a gift. And he whistles. And a small figure leaps off the rooftop and lands behind you. As it stands up, a vine-like gnome looks at you all with black sap seeping from small gashes everywhere. And Anafe whispers, no. And Abram says, I always did like your wife, Anafe. Shame what happened, though. But did you know? A tree doesn't care if the corpse is fresh or dug up from a grave. It'll still churn out these lovely little things. And then he turns and calls out to the creature. Go find your family here and slaughter them. And without hesitation, the gnome turns and runs in the opposite direction. Anafe's eyes dart frantically to the figure running away and back to her brother, and then to Oops, and says, Daisy,
Oh.
And Anafe takes off running. And as she gets away, you feel the presence of her song begin to fade. Shit. At the top of the order, we have Ruby.
That's me. I am still 30 feet away, correct?
Yes, you are all still outside of range except for Brutus and for Oops.
Cool. I'm gonna magic missile at the second level. Cool.
Okay, go for it.
Those are automatic hits. So it will be 4, 7, 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh, that's 9 plus 3, so 12. 12 points of force damage.
Excellent.
Which is my action. It's the issue. This is the issue with being a rogue. My attacks are up close.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, I believe so. That's all I can do at the moment because I can't get up close yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Terex.
Okay. When I shot him with my crossbow, how did I vibe-wise see? Like, how much damage did that do? Did it seem not very effective? Because it wasn't a silvered weapon or something like that?
Yeah, it did not seem like it mattered much.
Okay. In that case, I will Eldritch Blast and fire 2 beams at his face. Oh, natural 20! Thank God. And then the other one is like 6 plus 5 is 11. Let's see. There's no way his AC is 15. I'm not even gonna roll the thing for that. Come on, you little D10. I believe in you. Okay, that's 6, so that's double to 12 force damage. And then
well, we do roll double the dice just so that if you roll low, you get another roll.
okay.
So yeah.
That's a 5, so 11 force damage.
Excellent.
So that was a thing that happened, and then I can use my Mystic Frenzy to make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action, so I am going to hit him with my crossbow still.
Sure.
13 plus 7 is
That'll
20. Okay, so a lot of things happen here because he gets 6 points of piercing damage. That's not magical. Then there's 2 points of necrotic damage, which probably doesn't mean anything, but I hit him with my Crimson Right, and I forgot I could fucking do this. So I am going to activate my Brand of Castigation. What's the Brand of Castigation, Amelia? You haven't used that this entire fucking campaign. Well, I'll tell you. When I hit a creature with my Crimson Right feature, which I did, I can choose to sear an arcane brand of Hemocraft magic into it. I will always know the direction to the branded creature, and each time they deal damage to me or a creature I can see within 5 feet of me, they suffer 2 psychic damage. 2 damage? It's still damage.
Yes, it
Excellent.
is.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Brutus.
Maybe I'll scoot back a little bit. I want to get further out of range, actually.
Brutus.
Okay. Saying that it seemed like my magic didn't really, or my attack didn't really take effect until it was the smite part of it.
Correct.
Brutus is kind of gonna take a look at the situation and just gonna drag her sword along the ground in like kind of a swooping circle, and it just like sparks up like it always looks during her smites as she casts magical weapon. So all of my damage will be magical now.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take my 2 attacks with my Great Weapon Master. I'm gonna go for it.
Excellent.
And I got a nat 20 on one of them.
Yes, we love to see it.
Yes.
We love to see it. That's the energy. That's the energy I want everyone bringing to this table.
Yes.
Okay, and then the other one, I think probably doesn't hit. I gotta add it up here real quick. 11, 12, 13, 14. The other one's only a 15 to hit.
Doesn't
that
hit.
Doesn't, yeah.
So
That's okay. Made up for by the nat 20.
yeah, read me off the numbers for the damage and I'll add them up super quick for you.
Will do. Thank you. Okay. So, and you said double dice, right?
Double dice.
All right.
Double dice, double dice, double dice. Let's go.
For the weapon itself, which does have magical weapon on it now, that's 17.
Okay.
Definitely throwing a divine smite on here because we know what we're about.
Yeah.
8, 5, and 6 on that. Do I double the dice on divine smite too?
Yes.
Oh.
2 and 7.
Okay.
I think that's all of the dice that I roll.
Okay.
And then that's plus 19.
Okay.
Plus 1 because it had magical weapon on.
For a total of 70 damage.
What?
You're just breaking
Fucking
your own
paladins.
records.
Yes.
Oh, magic!
Saitama.
And
I really should have done something different, but I just really want to hit him.
and you
That's
slash
okay.
at him, and a massive gash cuts across, and he steps back and says, interesting. And is that your
Well,
turn?
Yeah.
And having suffered a pretty sizable wound, he moves the hand across his body as it begins to heal up. Now, I didn't come here to play with you today, but who are these wonderful children? And he
Kids are gonna
directs that
demise.
question. He directs that question at Oops, and he shoots a glance over at Hiccup.
You know who they are.
10 is such a great number. Tear, you get to follow this up.
Because as I do, I'm going to look back at him and say, I don't think you're ready to deal with the consequences of what you've done. And I'm going to point my hand at him, and a guiding bolt leaves my hand. And see if that hits. That is going to be a very shitty roll. That is an 11 to hit.
Does not hit.
Reaction to
Cool.
bend luck.
Okay.
Oh, I get to re-roll? Question
No,
mark?
I get to add a d4 to your roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. I'm also going to then use my... Am I also able to use my inspiration from chat for this?
Sure.
Have both of those? Okay, cool. So that means D4 from my end and a D4 from yours.
I rolled a 4, buddy.
Oh, yeah! And I rolled a 3. That's a 7. That's an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
Yes!
Yeah! Okay!
I got you, baby!
Yeah! That is 4d6, and that'll be 12 points of radiant damage.
Excellent.
And for my bonus action, I'm also going to again move my hands as the guiding bolt leaves my one hand. I'm going to use the other to rush my hand over my body, and the stars on it are going to start glowing a little brighter as I go into my starry form, specifically the archer. And with the archer, that's a bonus action to transform, and I'm able to use my bonus action as well to attack again. With a ranged attack, and that'll be 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
As another bolt of light leaves from my hand, and that's going to be 13 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Excellent. And that strikes, and another solid hit from Guiding Bolt, and he says, "Oh, you're really starting to get on my nerves."
Second person said that.
That's what I was thinking.
Better not look at the light if you don't want to get blinded by us. Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. Oops.
Oops. So Oops is still grappled, yeah?
Yeah, Oops is still grappled and was just bitten.
Oops is going to attempt to break that grapple.
All right, that's a DC 18 strength or acrobatics escape.
I have advantage because I am angry.
You got this. You got this, homie.
One's a nat 20. 22.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's probably more than that. It's 23. But yeah, no.
Yeah, you
it's
shake
a saving
it right
throw.
off.
That's a 27. So
It's not a saving throw. It's a
Okay.
it's a check.
it's just a check. Okay, then it is just a 23. But anyway, so Oops like shakes him off, and then what am I allowed to do after I do that? Is that an action?
So yeah, that is an action to break. But you are now out of that. You have bonus actions or anything else of the sort.
Shoot. I can't do anything because I didn't attack, so I can't second attack. So I guess I'm just stuck. That's my turn.
Okay. Now, shaking that off, it turns it over to Hiccup.
Okay. Well, step 1, I'm going to cast Mirror Image on myself. Second level spell slot, so I need to roll and see if I surge.
Mm-hmm.
You got this.
That's another 3, so I did not surge this time.
Okay.
Go. And that is his main action. And he is going to not get into... Well, he doesn't know what the range is for that crazy spell hoopla of getting paralyzed. Fiddlesticks. Okay. That is his main action. Well, it does raise his defense a bit. So that is a good thing. And he doesn't have any bonus actions.
So what's he doing?
He is gonna get ready to charge in. But he's been using his time to basically get his shit together, remembering where he is, and casts Mirror Image on himself.
Cool.
Yeah, so that is... Ah, God. That's all he can do for this turn.
Okay.
So far.
And as Oops shakes free and Hiccup mirror image multiple copies of the werewolf form of them surrounding them, he turns and he looks back at the group. And with a single jump, goes 10 feet backwards, pulling you all within range. I need a wisdom saving throw from everybody.
Everybody!
At
Except Oops.
advantage,
My turn for
disadvantage.
that 20.
Yes!
It was my turn.
Thank you.
It was my turn, so that's 21.
And
Nice.
no one has Brutus's 4 because Brutus is near him, and you're
for
all
me.
30 feet away.
That's a 19 on my end then.
Sorry,
Alrighty.
my cat.
So a wisdom saving throw. Okay.
All right, so what did we get for Terex?
6.
Moose?
19.
Hiccup?
19. I don't suppose that shield doohickey thing from my surge benefits it.
Brutus?
22.
And Ruby?
21.
And you are all frozen again. What the fuck?
God damn it.
And Oops would recognize the image of everyone pausing in place and recognizing he's gotten a hold of them. But suddenly, a woman wrapped in green vines with a long braid and scars all over her body comes around the corner and swings a sword at this figure. And the hooded figure quickly dodges, but the tip of it casts back his hood. And as the sunlight blasts him in the face, he winces. And her longsword collides with a building, and the crack runs up the structure. The crack of the impact nearly completely masks the sound of shattering glass as a great axe comes hurtling through a window nearest him. The half-elf vampire ducks just in time as a gash appears across his cloak. But as that axe barely clears him, he sees a third woman, mid-air, catch the axe and redirect the swing. With amazing reflexes, he manages to catch the handle of it to ease its blow as it bites down into his shoulder. But in that moment, he hadn't noticed the woman from the window used that attack to advance. And as her brass knuckles collide with his jaw, a thunderous crack rings out. And in a flash of movement, Abram dashes away quickly from the three as they assemble side by side with Oops. Everyone roll a perception check.
I was born for perceiving shit. That's a natural 20 plus 8.
Since you specified that it is a sunny day, I rolled at disadvantage for a 5.
15.
Okay.
Also a 15.
Also at 15.
Weird.
How bizarre.
Okay. So we got a 5 for Terex, and anyone else under the 15? Ruby, what'd you get?
I also got a 15.
Okay. So all of you except Terex, in this instance, perhaps the sun, you notice that these new arrivals who just worked in tandem, they all are covered in those same like vines, like the creature the gnome that ran off into the distance, but theirs are not seeping with black ooze. They are green and they are vibrant, and there is earth kind of coming off of bits and pieces of them. One of them has long braided hair and brandishes a long sword. The other is a short-haired younger woman with brass knuckles that seem to be crackling. And the final is an older woman that looks a spitting image of Oops a Daisy, just a little older, carrying a battle axe slung over her shoulder. And the one with the braided hair turns and, without uttering a word, reaches out and tussles the hair of Oops a Daisy. Oops, what do you do?
Well, this is a little disconcerting. Hi, Mom. And I guess your grandma, I think, and you must be the great. You're the first. Hi, Oops.
And a grip tightens on the battle axe as the older woman smiles and hurls it as the hooded figure, now unhooded, the half-elf, has to jump and dodge. And again, there is an advancement from these women as they move in tandem, throwing punches, and electric blades come swinging at this intruder. And he vanishes in a puff and appears up top on a roof. And they advance towards the building. And he calls down, "Doesn't seem right. It's not the right setting for our fun just yet. I'll be back." And he falls off the building in his cloak. And as it heads towards the ground and hits, his cloak goes flat.
It would have been really funny if he just went crunch. Just smoosh.
Completely down on the pavement.
Just that would have been
And
hilarious.
immediately advancing towards this, they grab the cloak and lift it up, shadows still looming around it. But their quarry is gone. And the three immediately turn into the distance and see a giant. And without hesitation, they depart, rushing in that direction. Team 10. What do you do?
Panic.
I have a point of order. So I did cast my brand of castigation on the guy. I know where he is.
Oh yeah.
So I know direction wise. Which way did he go?
You can sense him very far away.
All right.
You can sense him to the west.
Okay. Like straight west or like northwest?
He's southwest.
Southwest. Ooh, didn't even think of that one. Okay.
Can we move again?
Oh yeah, he's gone.
Cool. Okay.
I'm walking up to Kagor. No, I'm walking up to Kagor's body. His body's still there, right?
Yes, his body is still there.
Yeah.
I'm following and just giving Terex room, but also making sure to like watch her back and make sure like no creatures try to attack her.
Okay. To Terex? Okay. How about Hiccup? What are you doing?
I'm keeping the mirror image spell up just in case if we get jumped. You're not even close to being out of the woods with this whole ordeal. But he is also checking, making sure the rest of the team is alive. And once he processes, okay, everyone's alive, he's going to listen to the direction of where to go next because he genuinely is lost right now.
Okay. Brutus.
Anyone have an idea of where Anafe's family might be? That thing was sent after them. We might We might could go help her. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. And Ruby.
Yeah, I'm taking a head count and then turning to Oops and asking what do they want us to do next. Our mission here is complete.
And that is where we're going to end the session. Just like that.
I was gonna be snarky.
Fine.
I'll be snarky
Okay.
next time.
Yeah, you'll have to be snarky next time. But the scene shows a damaged and battered half-elf bleeding all over, laughing as he makes his way into what appears to be a castle. And as he heads into the lower deck, he's cackling maniacally. And he pulls up a journal in an office with sketches of all the members of Team 10. And he says, "They're perfect." And he crawls into a wooden box and shuts his eyes, imagining all the wonderful things to come. And somewhere, deep in the pits of hell, a dog, cut off and disconnected, reverted down to a hellhound, whimpers and howls. And Terex hears that howl.